Hey guys, welcome back. Lucian here with you again, back in my AE2 test world. Today we're going to be talking about more playing with channels, and we're going to be playing with P2P. So, quick review of systems is we do have our controller. Now remember, a controller can put out 8 channels per block face when using anything except for dense cable. And dense cable can do 32 channels per block face. So that's the main differences between your two channels. Dense cable 32, everything else 8 per block face. So you have a quick setup right here, and I'm using smart cable, that way Wally will actually pick up the channels. So we have 8 pieces of 8 blocks, 8 out of 8 channels. Again, the same 8 blocks, and then we're now using 8 of my 32 channels. So quick review of systems. Alright, so now let's get into the P2P. Now, let me just say, I didn't like the P2P. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it in AE1, so I didn't use it. Now AE2, I wouldn't want to say you're forced into using it, but if you're trying to be conservative with your resources or trying to do an effective wiring job, P2P tunnels are what you need, basically. So, P2P tunnel right here, there is several different variations. We have redstone, RF, MJ, the actual ME P2P, fluids, light, and then items. But we're going to be talking about ME right now. Will you go away, horsey? Go. Get out of here. Go. Alright, so I have a P2P tunnel right here. And you can see, here's the crafting recipe. So it is rather expensive. And each P2P tunnel uses 1 channel. Okay, so let's get some light back on. So I'm just going to set up a very mock system. So I have my smart cable. I'm just going to hook it up just like this. Okay, and then I'm going to we'll do it like this. Okay. Not like that. Okay. Alright. Alright, so you can see what I did right there. So P2P tunnel going to P2P tunnel. In fact, those are backwards. See, this is why I dislike these things. That's how it should be. Alright, so now I got these hooked back up. I'm going to shift right click on this P2P tunnel, save the settings to this memory card, and then I'm going to come and click on these P2P tunnels. Basically, we're linking them together for a better way of saying it. So that's part 1. Now the second thing is this actual channel needs line. They've already synced up, but you can see on Walia, they're still offline even though everything's connected correctly. That's because it needs power. So in comes this piece of quartz fiber. Now quartz fiber does not transfer information like ME cable does, but it does transfer power. So I could just pull off a little piece of ME cable right there, and you can now see that all my devices are now online since I gave it some power. Make sense? Now, wait, horsey. Now you can see if I mouse over my Walia right here, I'm using 4 of my 8 channels. Because this uses a channel, this uses a channel, this uses a channel, that one. So that's now 4 channels. So now let's see what really makes the P2P tunnel so good when managing these systems. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm using 8 of my 8 channels for this line, but when I hop over to here, I'm still only using 4 of my 8 channels. So let's say I have, pull up my factories. Let's say I have 8 factories. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And do I have any buses? Yeah, I got some buses right here. So let's say this one right here. Whoa, get out of there. Okay. Jeez, what's up with all the animals in this video today? So now I'm using 8 out of my 8 channels for that piece of line. 8 out of 8 right there. And then, you know, whatever you want for over here. I'm just gonna throw down drives because drives are only one block I have to place and I don't have to wire it up too much. So you can now see with this line that I'm working with, I now have 8, 16, 24 pieces of equipment attached to this one smart cable, and I'm only using 4 out of my 8 channels. So that means I could repeat this if I wanted to. Go away. Like this right here. Well, I'll move it 1 block just to kind of keep it symmetrical. And I'll click on here to sync this up. Now this one's online. So now I'm using 5 of my 8 channels. So you can see you can start getting some pretty complex systems when using the P2P tunnels. But you just got to be able to wrap your head around how they're going to work and how to use them effectively. So that's now 6 out of 8. And one final one. 7, 8. So now I'm using 8 out of my 8 channels for this piece of line. So technically I could have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. I can have 56 pieces of equipment tied off of this one smart cable right here. So it's up to you how you wire it. I know I've talked about this in a previous video on my AE2 stuff. Algorithm X2, which is the original mod creator for AE1 and AE2, has now stepped away from the modding scene and has turned over AE2 over to Fireball. Fireball was the dev for AE2 Tech add-on, and now he's taking over AE2. So I will be very interested to see in the future updates of AE2 how we start progressing with this, whether if this channel notion goes away or what's going to happen in 1.8. I'd be very interested to see, but I know there's a lot of hate and very much dislike for this channel. Everybody just liked AE1, where you just slap a piece of cable down and hooked it up. I even saw one suggestion where there was a basically an expensive piece of cable, but it had unlimited channels, so you didn't have to worry about all this channel channel managing. Basically, you just use this one piece of universal cable, basically, more or less, or multi-channel cable. So that's about it. So there's your AE2 fix for this week, talking about P2Ps and just a little bit of quick review. Again, let me know if you have any questions, and I want to make sure I very much clarify this because I've had some issues and some questions about it before. The AE2 controller, each block face can support 8 channels with anything except for dense cable. Dense cable is the only one that can do 32 channels, and that's because dense cable is made up of 4 pieces of that cable. So again, thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys on the next one.